Welcome back to Jay's Jeep and Classic Car channel, the channel that provides video resources for you to build and maintain your classic car, your Jeep, and your everyday driver. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button down below and hit the like button and get all that business out of the way with. And before we get on into the topic at hand, I'll wait. Alright, good. Alright, so we're down in our shop, and the pollen's just so bad right now that we're going to do the rebuild right here. So our parts came in from Mike's. Again, real quick. If you have questions, they are a real quick response. Emailed them. They said my original was not what was originally on there, and so they recommended this kit, and so that's what we're going to put on today, is that kit. So we're going to put a new intake valve receiver, I guess. This is the intake valve, and some spring clips that hold on to the float. So we're just going to move these out of the way. Hopefully you can see what we're doing. We got the big old screwdriver enforcer here, and we're just going to unscrew that like so. My grandfather had these really nice brass copper, I guess they're brass, screwdrivers, so that's what I'm using so they don't spark. You don't have to use it, but with gasoline you just want to be careful. So that's the old one. Here's the new one. Definitely shorter thread. But besides that, and the hole's bigger in there, the orifice, I guess, but besides that, they're the same. So we're just going to go ahead and screw that in. Hopefully, I have not tested this out, so I don't know for sure that it will fit. Like I said, again, I emailed the guys at Mike's Carburetor Parts, and they said this is what you need, even though it was not what I had in there originally. So we just want to make sure to get that lined up right, get a little better angle on there. Alright, and then just going to screw that down in there. And then we're going to go ahead and put the clip on this thing like so. Get the right orientation on there. There we go. And then this part goes down in there. Alright, I'm going to try to get a second one on here. They didn't include two for just being generous, so I'm assuming that I need to have two on there. Not exactly sure how that fits down in there though, with them both being in there. I would assume they need to be clocked somewhat. Nor do I really want to mar it up real bad. Let's try it again. There we go. I don't know how well that's going to work. We're going to try to slide that on here, because it goes like this. And so we're just going to go ahead and slide that where I think it needs to be. Okay, so we kind of got that centered in there. And now we need to put that shaft in there.
which is right here. And so we're just going to try to finagle that in gently to get that where it needs to be. Alright, so let's take a look at it. Hopefully you can kind of see that working. As that goes up and down, that pulls it out and in. So hopefully that will work. That wasn't too bad, but we'll see how well that works. And we're going to go on and put this on the Jeep. Alright, so we have it all bagged up. We got it double bagged, and I have a mask on, so if you can't quite hear me, that's why. And it's not because of the coronavirus, it is due to how much pollen we have in the air. And so I'm just trying to breathe. And so there we go. Okay, so here we are. Here's the pieces back. I forgot to take some screws out, so we're going to put this over to the side for a sec. Hopefully parts won't fall out like they did last time, and that's why we ended up replacing that intake spring, or intake needle and all that. It's because the spring popped out, and you can't just buy the spring, and so I ended up having to buy a different one. Hopefully it works right. I guess we'll find out here eventually. Probably not tonight though, because I'm not planning to run it tonight. Okay, so here's our sock. Just trying to keep contaminants out of the middle of this thing. I got new screws, so we're just going to unscrew these as we go. So here we are. We're going to kind of move this out of the way, and I really hope you can see this, but we're going to put the accelerator pump in there, get that needle down in there, and there we go. That's where it needs to be. Alright, so we're going to put these screws in. Now that we kind of got it lined up. We're going to put this part on. Kind of slide it up over. At least that's the thought, or the plan behind it all. That kind of wants to fight me a little bit. So just opposite view right here. We're trying to get it up over there. Alright, so let's try that again. And I just don't want to have to take a lot of linkage off. Is kind of what I'm trying to avoid here. And it's leaking gas everywhere. Come on. There we go. So I am reusing these screws. They're not in bad shape. So no real consistency on my part, but you know, hey. It is what it is. Alright, next up we gotta put this little double clip thing on. And all it does is hold this in place. So all we gotta do is kind of get it to fit in there. So the idea is it slides over like that. And it's just not wanting to turn right now. There we go. Okay, see how that just went in like that? That's good. Except for the fact we didn't have the thing in place. There it goes. Alright, I think we just figured out how that works. There we go. It popped in. Now we just gotta pop that down. We're gonna use a screwdriver. Well, that was the thought at least. I'll just push that down in there. There you go. Alright. Alright, last steps, just put the horn back in. Whatever this is called. I think it's called the air horn. Yeah. And so we're just going to slide it down like so. There we go. Now, oh yeah, we got to put this bad boy back in here. I knew I'd forgotten one step. And yeah, so what was supposed to be a 15-minute add-on or repair ended up being a week, just because it took a while to get the parts in.
Alright, so we got the gasket replaced and also the inlet valve needle replaced after we dropped the spring out of that thing. That was totally not anticipated, but sometimes that happens when you're working on it. So anyway, again, Mike's carburetor parts is where I would recommend. Again, the link is in the description below. Make sure to put any questions you have. Really, the carburetor wasn't too bad to work on. It was just simply that I dropped some parts, and that was the big issue. But besides that, really appreciate y'all watching, and y'all take care. It's time for supper.